Kristi Noem's husband is a big boobied hoe. Well, it seems that cosplay Kristi Noem's husband Byron likes dressing up himself. That bird-legged hoe might wear the skinny jeans in the family, but Byron wears the brassiere. Bryon, that with a Y-O. And photos leaked online that appear to show his fetish for cross-dressing, including wearing a pair of balloons under a tight tank top. Well, plenty of Republicans have been busted for worse activities, including domestic violence and the essay of minors. But this Mr. Noem's Boobygate is going viral for all the right reasons. Pretty sure the pictures are legit, since the nipples are the stuff of Kash Patel's dreams, pointing in two different directions at once. Puppy killer Noem has been under the gun, pun intended, since her disastrous tenure and firing from DHS, and the hearings where her husband sat in the cuck chair behind her while she was grilled by Congress about her personal relationship with her assistant, Corey Lewandowski.
So, Secretary Noem, at any time during your tenure as Director of Department of Homeland Security, have you had sexual relations with Corey Lewandowski?
Mr. Chairman, I am shocked that we're going down and peddling tabloid garbage in this committee today.
Reclaiming
and
my
ma'am,
time.
one thing that I would tell you is that he is a special government employee who works for the White House. There are thousands of them in the federal government.
So, reclaiming
and
my
as an
time,
advisor,
Secretary, it is
has
okay for
no,
you to be
no
offended
authority
by
to
the
be
question.
making any
It is
decisions.
okay for you to
has
be
no
offended
authority
by the
to
question.
be making
But it is
decisions
also
and
a
putting
real
up your
question.
position. So what I would say
And
to
you should be able to
is
answer
that
the
what we do at the Department of Homeland Security every single
and without
day,
any hesitation,
every single day is to protect
if
this
someone
country
is
and
asking
to make
if
decisions.
you or any federal official is sleeping with their subordinate, that should be the easiest. You should be wanting to answer that question.
Is garbage?
Because it is not about
It is
your sex
offensive
life.
that you have brought
It is
that up.
about your
So
judgment.
that kind of garbage
It is
has
about
been refuted
reclaiming
for
my
years,
time so
and
that
you
I
need
can
to
hear myself.
recognize-
Time belongs to the gentlelady from California, but it'd be nice if you would let her respond.
I will. I want to let you know it is about your judgment and decision-making. It is about the 260,000 employees that work under you that want to make sure that you are giving information and making decisions clearly. It is about conflict of interest. It is about a national security risk. Department of Homeland Security was created right after 9/11 to protect the homeland. And DHS has circulated an internal bulletin to law enforcement partners warning that the conflict of the war we're in could inspire lone actors or small-scale cyber activity inside the United States, according to a memo obtained by ABC News. So American lives are at risk. The people who work for you are at risk. And they want to know that the person at the top, you, are making decisions clearly, without any sort of cloudiness, and that they're your decisions because you're the secretary who was confirmed. That's what this is about. Saving the lives of Americans and not costing them millions of dollars, and not having a secretary who's compromised in her decision-making.
Lewandowski has also been the target of investigations since the hearings over contracts that he and Noem approved for facilities meant to detain immigrants and getting kickbacks.
So a spokesperson telling reporters that Lewandowski is no longer at the Department of Homeland Security. As you mentioned, he was a top advisor to now former Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, and his future at the department, or whether he had a future at the department, had been unclear after President Trump had fired Noem and replaced her with now Secretary Markwayne Mullin. Now, Lewandowski as well had been facing criticism and controversy too. So Democrats, they launched an inquiry into Lewandowski last week over allegations allegations that he sought personal payments from contractors, which he had denied. Now, Lewandowski and Noem had also faced allegations that they had been having an affair, and they had denied that as well.
Barbie herself has had her own cosmetic procedures done, like the dental surgery she had in 2024 in Texas while she was governor of South Carolina, getting herself into hot water over the TV promos she made for them.
So several years ago, I did a consultation here at Smile, Texas, and did it by Zoom, but could never quite find the time. And recently got the chance to work with Dr. Davis. Dr. Dooley's always been fantastic to me too, but the team here was remarkable and finally gave me a smile that I can be proud of and confident in. And that really is a gift that I think is going to be incredibly special to have. You know, I think that I chose the team here at Smile, Texas, because they're the best, first of all. I'd studied a lot of the work that they had done and talked to a lot of people that had been here, but also because they were so kind. They wanted to make sure that I was happy with my smile. Not only that the bite was correct and that I liked the shape, the color, but that it was going to work for me for the rest of my life and that it was something that I could be proud of. So for them, they care about people and about that they are happy more than they do about just fixing something to get by. They want it to be perfect. And for me, if you're going to go through a process like this, that means a lot to have someone who cares that much about the work that they do. Well, for me, I realized that the job that I'm in, I spent my whole life farming and ranching, riding horses, chasing cows, and then got into government and politics, where everything is speaking and interviews and giving speeches. I want when people look at me to hear the words that I say and not be distracted by something that I'm wearing or how I look or even my appearance. I want them to focus on my thoughts and ideas.
Kick that habit. Grifting from the ice soft porn ads like the one at Mount Rushmore while she was head of DHS. She's had other parts of her face adjusted too, which can arguably be called gender-affirming surgery, trying to achieve what the grand old plastic party at Mar-a-Lardo Zempic think a real woman looks like. Meanwhile, her husband makes do with a cheap tank top and a couple of balloons, perching in tight hot pants and puckering his lips for the camera.
Like if my producer walked in right now, or if like my mom walked in right now, I would just switch over to actual porn because that would be easier to explain than whatever the hell this is on screen now. We have to be joking. We have to be joking. Listen, I don't judge. I honestly don't judge. I don't care what you want to do. But the fact that Kristi Noem was abusing our taxpayer dollars to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars while spreading hatred towards minorities in this country, spreading hatred towards immigrants, spreading hatred towards people that I care about, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't think that you get a... Yeah, I'm sorry. I think it's incredibly hypocritical for Kristi Noem's husband to be all for individual liberty as long as it makes you happy. But then the moment that turns to transgender people or Black Americans or immigrant Americans, they strip that individual liberty away.
And considering the shenanigans she and Corey got up to with their sexy jet and their contract kickbacks, you'd think she had bigger things to be worried about, but the revelation about hubby seems to have been the straw that broke the two-hump camel hose back. Quickly put out a statement saying that she was devastated by the images of her husband and that the family was blindsided by this. And in response to multiple requests for an interview, Mr. Noem wrote in a text message on Tuesday, "I will at some point. Today is not the day. I appreciate your heart." Some burning questions like, which bathroom does he use? And did he wear the falsies during story time with their kids? And did Cricket and the goat know too much? Well, some are speculating that Noem and Stephen Miller are still on a mutual destruction campaign after her ousting. It's no secret that she blamed him for the slander of Alex Preddy being labeled as a domestic terrorist. And these photos of Mr. Noem came out following a few days of speculation about how close Miller himself is to maybe getting fired.
Inevitably, when someone in the Trump administration gets too big for their britches and starts to not follow Donald Trump's direction, they're not long for the job, or in the words of Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, you can start the countdown on the firing of Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller is the shadowy figure in the White House. who, from his perch of being the deputy White House chief of staff, really runs all of Donald Trump's immigration and migration policy. And it has now been reported that after the firings of people that reported to him, ultimately, Kristi Noem as the Department of Homeland Security director, Corey Lewandowski also working for Homeland Security, and now the new reporting by the Daily Mail and Politico that Todd Lyons, the acting director of ICE, who reports directly, dotted line, to Stephen Miller, is in such bad shape, physically and or psychologically, that he has had to check himself into the hospital no less than 3 times. And during a recent incident where he was so flustered and frustrated that a senior official doing a ride along with ICE, they couldn't capture one illegal. One of his staff members actually, get ready, brought a defibrillator along just in case.
Her hometown of Castlewood, South Carolina, people actually feel sorry for Bryon and say that their marriage had been the talk of the prairies since long before Tuesday. A lot of people there remember Ms. Noem when she was still Christy Arnold, working in her mother's coffee shop in Watertown. It was called The Past Times. People still refer to Ms. Noem, often sarcastically, as the Snow Queen, after the state pageant she won when she was young. And on the edge of Castlewood, there's a gas station that sells AR-15s and has dozens of animal heads hanging from the walls, and Christy for Governor stickers plaster the countertops. Stain of dried tobacco juice traces the outline of a now removed spittoon. One person who's known the Noems for many years is Brad Johnson, a real estate appraiser, who says people note Bryon as a supportive husband who worked to maintain a normal family life as Christie's profile rocketed. And he said, it shows the price of power and fame is very high, but Kristi invited this type of coverage by her actions at the Department of Homeland Security. Well, while Congress is shut down over funding for ICE and the DHS that Noem used to have, another gross GOP freak, Lindsey Ladybug Graham, made his own little excursion. After frothing at the mouth about bombing Iran, he was caught on cameras at Disneyland with a bubble wand in his hand. I don't even want to know what he wants to do with that.
Lindsey Graham is one of the people responsible for getting us into this war. Look at him. There he is in the middle of Disney with a bubble wand. Like, this seems like some sort of weird fever dream I'm in. Is this real? Am I dreaming this, Stu? I'm just angry about his influence over President Trump, and I'm angry that I have to look at pictures of him with his bubble wand. And I'm angry I have to pretend he's not gay when it's very clear.
Get your pinky down. It's up again.
Why doesn't he admit it by this point in his life? In my humble opinion, he's an insult to the gays. Gays tend to be fabulous.
Does this go with this? Does no go with way?
Why is he more fabulous? I don't understand how he didn't get the memo, and I'm sick and tired of seeing this man's influence over our national politics and our troops. Lindsey Graham is one of the people responsible for getting us into this war. Look at him. There he is in the middle of Disney.
All alone by himself with no children, no family, and no friends. Completely normal, right? Others have said before me about this. We're not trying to kink shame or cast aspersions on the queer or cross-dressing communities. It's just the hypocrisy of the Epstein class who fearmonger about the LGBTQ community and demonize anyone who doesn't fit their twisted morality while behind closed doors are letting their freak flags fly and worse. These phonies, fakes, and frauds aren't fooling anyone anymore. People have had it with their lies, their corruption, and hypocrisy. Noem and the rest are going down, and they should never have another day's peace for the rest of their lives. They deserve all the humiliation and consequences coming to them. Immigrants and people like Mr. Christie should be able to live peacefully without folks like the puppy-killing bitch holding a gun to their heads. And on that note, help us send a message in a form that they might understand. Help fund the dildo distribution network today. Contact us at politicaldrain@proton.me. That's politicaldrain@proton.me.
Kristi Noem is a bird-legged hoe. Kristi Noem is a bird-legged hoe that